see happening long term here? You think Kyler Murray is going to get that big paycheck? Is he going to commit to the Cardinals?
He's a very young but also immature player. Arizona does not want to extend him with the money that he wants this offseason.
A month ago, I made a video on the Kyler Murray situation, and I think it was safe to say that we were ready to move on past it. It seemed like Kyler Murray was motivated to be focused and not a distraction this year for the Arizona Cardinals. Until now! No, I'm serious. He's back. He's back to being a distraction for the Cardinals. And this is going to make every single Arizona Cardinals fan collectively roll their eyes because this should not be dragged on this long. Now, before we get to the content, on April 15th, I'm going to be announcing a winner for $500. All you have to do to enter is subscribe and turn on our notifications on this channel. Make sure you check us out on Flight Mike TV because we made a video on Elon Musk over there. That man's apparently buying Twitter. What? And now that we get all that out of the way, break! I'm not a big fan of traditional banks. They charge $35 for overdraft fees. They charge you fees for having a checking and savings account, and they don't give you cash back on debit card purchases. On top of that, most banks don't really care if you make or lose money, which is why I partnered with Albert. Albert is free to sign up for and easy to use. Instead of just opening a traditional savings account and hoping you put money into it, Albert looks at your income and expenses to see what money you can save. The best part is they give 5 to 20% cash back on retailers like Walmart, Starbucks, and McDonald's. Probably the most important feature of Albert is Genius. Albert has a team of financial experts called Geniuses that will look at your situation and help you make a plan if you get stuck. And for a limited time, when you click my link in the description down below, open up an account and submit a qualifying direct deposit, you'll get $150 just like that. Or you could go to albert.com/microphone to create an account and submit a qualifying direct deposit to get $150. That's an easy $150 to make, and thank you, Albert, for today's sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? I feel like the narratives are starting to become very redundant here because last night we dropped a video very late, by the way. I apologize. It took some time to produce all the content that we wanted to get out to you guys yesterday. But we made a video on Deebo Samuel's latest situation where he's pretty much demanding $25 million a year, which isn't that bad of an ask for Deebo Samuel. You might be wondering, Mike, why are you bringing up Deebo Samuel? You made a video on him last night. This should be about Kyler Murray. Well, in said video, I've been saying that Deebo Samuel probably got his inspiration from Kyler Murray, another star in the NFC West. And while the AFC West seems to be loading up for a huge year, the NFC West appears to be busy with dealing with petty,
premature contract drama.
With respect to Kyler Murray and Deebo Samuel, technically they shouldn't be doing this for a whole other year. But in this instance, it seems like both players really want new contracts immediately. So this all started with Kyler Murray very shortly after the Pro Bowl. He scrubbed his entire social media account of anything that had to do with the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals just made a joke out of this and also scrubbed their own Instagram account to everything but 2 posts. Eventually, Kyler Murray's teammates would chime in on how they felt about this, but through it all, we just said that, hey, there's no doubt in our minds that Kyler Murray will stay an Arizona Cardinal. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this entire situation put the Arizona Cardinals in a very uncomfortable position. I mean, you don't typically have quarterbacks trying to get contracts 2 years before their contracts are set to expire, especially if you've really performed in the regular season, but most recently your latest game wasn't necessarily the greatest showing of your talent. I mean, Kyler Murray has been accused of giving up on his team during the Cardinals' loss to the Los Angeles Rams in the NFL playoffs last year. And when you consider the fact that the Arizona Cardinals were an early season favorite to make a lot of noise in the NFL playoffs, that's very disappointing. So the timing of his contract demand is a little premature. But in addition to that, he made his demands known and his agent has made his demands known, yet there was no action taken by them. And it seemed like Kyler Murray was ready to move on. Hell, like if you look at the way DeAndre Hopkins acted at the time, he said the reason why Kyler Murray decided to scrub his Instagram account account was because he wanted to show off some new outfits for the upcoming season. He didn't want you guys to look at the old ones. But Larry Fitzgerald's dad coming out and criticizing Kyler Murray because he felt like what he was doing was childish. And to his credit, I have to agree. I do think it's very childish to be doing this. But once Kyler Murray was willing to move past it, I assumed we all moved on. Up until today, because according to Tom Pelissero, the Arizona Cardinals have yet to make a contract offer to Pro Bowl QB Kyler Murray, whose agent Eric Burkhart informed the team weeks ago he was pulling his opening proposal off the table per sources. Other teams are monitoring closely. Arizona insists that Murray won't be traded. Now, what's even more interesting is Tom Pelissero continues to say 4 quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, Matthew Stafford, and Derek Carr have signed contract extensions worth $40 million or more in the past month as the market continues to go up. Murray is due about $5.5 million in 2022, and it'd be a surprise if he plays on that deal. This man has 2 more years on his rookie scale contract, so the fact that he was able to dominate throughout the beginning of his career, which you got to give credit where credit's due, Kyler Murray had to play behind a really bad offensive line, is undersized for a quarterback, as many NFL memes would say, and yet he hasn't necessarily had a problem with injuries. However, now as a result of this, people are starting to question his abilities as a leader. And here's the worst part about this. I feel like there is no worse team to handle this situation than the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, any other team might be able to handle this situation properly, but I don't think the Cardinals, based off of what I've seen historically, are capable of handling Kyler Murray's immaturity. Now, take a look at this, because if you remember back in February, the Cardinals even came out and said that they want Kyler Murray to take a step forward in leadership and maturity, according to Mikerophone. I do know they're looking for Kyler Murray to take a step forward in a number of areas. We're talking about maturity, body language on the sideline, having a bigger voice with his teammates, and leadership. Garofalo also added that several members of the club were not pleased that Murray did not finish out the Arizona Cardinals Super Wildcard Weekend game versus the LA Rams, in which Kyler Murray threw 2 interceptions and the Cardinals lost by 23 points. Murray was not on the field for the final 2 snaps of the game, ceding quarterback snaps to backup Colt McCoy. Those 2 final snaps of the game were literally runs by Eno Benjamin, so the fact that he wasn't even able to check into the game to snap the ball and hand it off to his running back to end the game, yeah, not necessarily the greatest look. Now people are going to talk about it. It was 2 freaking snaps, for crying out loud. So now we're in this situation where Kyler Murray will not play unless if he gets a brand new contract. So Albert Breer provides us some rationale as to why Kyler Murray's camp is doing this now. The NFL draft is in 2 weeks, and according to Albert Breer, Cardinals QB Kyler Murray and his camp have long viewed the draft as a deadline for a new contract. We talked about this back in March, because if they were going to ask for a trade, they'd want to do it before then. Putting the ball in Arizona's court is the next step in that direction. Now, here's the interesting thing. I don't know if they're angling for a trade, but here's something you should note just in regards of finance with quarterbacks. Since the NFL Combine, the number of QBs with a base APY of $40 million or more has grown from 3 to 7, with new deals for Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, Derek Carr, and Matthew Stafford. So waiting has its benefits. Ultimately, there's something a little fishy about this situation. If you're Kyler Murray, why is there such an urgency to get a contract done immediately? Because if you wait another year, chances are there's going to be a new quarterback that's going to completely reset the market. I don't think anyone's going to get paid more than Aaron Rodgers next year, who's getting paid $50 million a year to be the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. But still, the chances of you earning better money, especially if you repeat the same type of production that you did this year, your chances increase. But in addition to that, I really don't understand what Kyler Murray's angle is, and I can't imagine Kyler Murray coming out here and demanding a trade. Cliff Kingsbury's absolutely in love with this guy. He's been in love with this guy ever since he knew that he had the opportunity to draft him. So you're just going to trade him now? And if Kyler Murray is available for trade, what would be the amount of capital that teams would give up to trade for Kyler Murray, a former number 1 overall pick who's a dual threat QB, who's an absolute stud of a quarterback, might I add? Yes, he has yet to perform in the playoffs, but when you consider where the Arizona Cardinals were when they drafted him and how each and every year they're progressively getting better and better and better, they're headed towards the right direction. So I don't understand what Kyler's angle is if he wants to get paid so badly, because I feel like that is bound to happen eventually. All this is kind of indicating, at least to most people is a little bit of immaturity. If he deserved the contract extension now, then without a doubt he would have received one. But the last player that received a contract extension this prematurely was Patrick Mahomes. After a remarkable start to his career when he won an MVP in his first full year as a starter and then won a Super Bowl in year 2. And with all due respect to Kyler Murray, he's a prolific quarterback. It's just, I don't think he's done enough to warrant a premature contract extension the way Patrick Mahomes did. Either way, I think this is going to get way worse. I don't think the Arizona Cardinals are equipped to handle how Kyler Murray's personality is, and I feel like this is going to become a gigantic distraction moving forward because Kyler Murray originally said that he wasn't going to be a distraction any longer, and now he's back to being a distraction. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What do you think the outcome of this situation is? We see the Carolina Panthers trading the 6th overall pick and future first round picks for Kyler Murray at some point this offseason? I don't think so, but I'd like to hear what you have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.